brief rest, well, a longer than usual rest for L.A. Tenorio because Cablay played so well during his stint on the floor.
You know, when you're a coach, all you want to do, all you want to tell your players is when your starting five is there, they'll play major minutes. And when you're part of the second group, all you want to do is, if you're only down by, or if you're up by 4 points, just keep it there.
Yes.
Keep it there. Get your first group to rest and just keep the game the same.
Hold the fort. Biggest lead has been re-established at 17. Devance in a trap. Won't get a break this time. Defense all over him. It's a 4-on-2 bust out. No. It's a charge for the rebound there, and they'll allow it to bounce away. Alaska managing to scuttle back and hurry back. Kakatakot ang Ginebra. Pag biglang mataking gano'n, kailangan mabilis kang bababa.
Well, you can't get them, or you can't let them allow the crowd to get in the basketball game.
This is an emotional team driven by emotional threes and fast break plays. This crowd, I was wondering, especially the Ginebra fans, will something happen while Alaska fans are enjoying the stranglehold they're doing on Ginebra. Hatfield fighting hard, and Eman with a foul in the backcourt. Useless foul. Second. Ball already in the hands of Hatfield when he made the nudge.
For Barangay Ginebra, you're just looking for one guy, a guy like Willie Miller to make impact plays, a guy like Mark Kagiwa or a Ronald Dubit, guys who can really get the crowd involved.
Cone is crouching down low, you know.
Alaska now showing a different type of defense, the 1-2-2 zone defense, extending out on Miller and Kagiwa.
Nice cut. Good eye by Tubin.
And when you're playing a 1-2-2 zone, the spot that's free or that's open is the middle. Really had to be finding it that time.
This second quarter is breezing by us, 2.5 remaining. Nearly starting. It's off the foot of Cyrus Baguio. Aces want a timeout. Tim Cone telling his team we're okay, we're in the lead, but let's talk things over. Okay, as the teams reorganize, it's time to go for a ride in the Phoenix drive of the game. Watch this. You've been seeing this through the years. Mike Cortez taking care of business there. This ball game, however, 54-39. Alaska just playing with maximum efficiency here in this first half of play, Dominic.
You know, I just like watching Alaska when they're playing like this because parang dali-dali ng basketball. All of a sudden, things are so simple. You're playing defense well. Everybody's putting maximum effort. Everybody's moving the ball around. It's just so easy.
And they have sent the ball into the proper spaces on the floor. Corcoran has delivered. Tenorio has delivered. Eman has delivered. That's hard to drive. With Devance, Eman, and Toss there.
Well, if you look at the five of the Alaska Aces, Coach Tim Cone has now brought back his starting five to end this quarter. That time, Sunny Toss a little bit late in getting out to the corner, finding Ronald Dubit open for that three-point shot.
Who now has 8 points in the lead from a high of 17 as it brings down to 12. That's not going to work, but it's nice to have big teammates.
Well, Barangay never got lucky that time. They left Tenorio open for that three-point shot, but then they weren't able to get the rebound. They weren't able to box out itong si Joe Devance.
And Mamaril trying to provide some push coming off the bench. First basket by Mamaril. Eman's trying to establish some kind of position inside. Mamaril is all over him. Eman with a fine catch despite the pesky hands of Mamaril. Here's a twist by Tenorio, looking, shopping around, goes underneath the Christmas tree. Nothing there. Devance is smothered.
Well, hindi pa dumarating si Santa, wala pang regalo sa ilalim ng Christmas tree.
Paano? Nung 23 bumaba, hindi naman nung 24. In the meantime, the foul is whistled against Wilson. Ano, Roy Lopez, our statistician, ano gusto mo sa Pasko? Bagong laptop, ano?
Charger na lang.
Charger na lang. Baka,
Pwede na. Or gift certificate sa pampapaayos.
Yes. In the meantime, referee Herrera, di ba tayo magparinig dito? And referee Herrera says there's a loose ball foul on Eman. Eman with his third foul. Eman, he gets mad when he loses the opportunity to get the rebound. He commits a useless foul. He's committed 2 in a row, actually.
What happens with Sam Eman is he's over-eager.
Yep.
He knows that he's got limited playing time. So he wants to prove to his coaching staff that they made the right decision by taking him from San Miguel, extending his contract. He wants to be able to show everybody in the PBA that he has what it takes. So he becomes a little bit over-eager every so often and ends up fouling.
When your name's Miguel Eman, you should have played for San Miguel, but life is so interesting, isn't it? In the meantime, Wilson is on the stripe. Ginebra's trying to nibble away at this lead, which once stood at 17, which is now down to 10. A bit of a press being applied by the Gin Kings. Basketball really a game of momentum. The team that controls it, and now the momentum has shifted over to the barangay. This crowd is beginning to murmur, beginning to creep into the game. Whipping it over to Miller. The Thriller applies the brakes. Inside we go. What a pass and what a shot by Willie Wilson.
And again, great ball movement resulting into an easy shot for Willie Wilson.
And it is now down to 8 points. Sneaky shot by Tenorio. Tries to keep it in play. Tenorio, boy, it goes back quickly to Tenorio. He hasn't even started breathing yet. He already gets the ball back. Baguio. Oh, yes!
13 points for Cyrus Baguio. That's actually a tough shot. He did that little jab step. And then he actually hesitated for a little bit. And there was no hesitation in Willie Miller with that shot.
And welcome to the shootout of the OK Corrales. Miller and Baguio are putting on a rodeo, a shootout here. And look at this, the time just breezing by us here.
The second quarter action has really picked up. And that's why you can see the fans, or you can even hear them. He's getting a lot more excited here.
From both camps, and Devance nails a 3. 19 big first half points. Miller, dished off at the last moment. Well, he was feeling good about passing. But Ginebra with a good end of quarter run, Dominic.
Well, even if they didn't really cut the lead to a sizable amount right now, is you can feel that the momentum is shifting a little bit now to the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings. So coming into the halftime, you can talk about it and you can come out a lot harder and stronger in the third quarter.
And talking about it, it's Mika with Cyrus Baguio.
Thanks, Ev. Cyrus, despite the crowd, hindi nyo pinayagan makapasok ang Ginebra, lalo na sa changing defense nyo.
Tingin ko maganda yung shooting namin ngayon eh. So siguro yung second quarter medyo nag-relax kami sa defense kaya nakahabol sila. So sana ma-contain namin yung yung ginagawa namin, yung offense namin, saka sana maka-stop din kami.
Yun nga, mukhang pinag-aralan nila kayo sa first half and siguradong maraming pwede magbago sa second half, lalo na kay Willie Miller. Pero sa ngayon, tingin mo ba ano ang advantage nyo?
Tingin ko maganda yung namin, ball movement namin, saka yung execution namin, doon kami nakakalamang eh. So sana ganun pa rin yung lalaro namin sa kanap.
Maraming salamat, good luck. 7 Dominic will break down the stats when we return only here on Solar TV.
The Alaska Aces barely made it here.
Let's take it to go to Mario for the win. Oh, yes! Mario for the win! Oh, my gosh!
Beating San Miguel was a confidence booster. It's always really important to have momentum going into the playoffs.
The Barangay Ginebra Kings came here with flair.
And here's Miller. Miller to make. Oh, hot cheese, what a play!
Coming off a championship, the Aces are built for the playoffs. The Kings, whose star-studded backcourt starting to align, will be tested. Can Barangay Ginebra's Royal defense hold up against the formidable triangle system of the Alaska Aces?
This game could have an interesting twist, an interesting end.
Get ready. The chess match begins.
In the world of chess, position and material, very, very important. And if this were a chess game, Alaska has the early edge, but we're still in the middle game where a million other things could still happen. The biggest lead, I think, was 17. Medyo humabol, it was down to 8. In other words, Barangay Ginebra is just waxing, beginning to warm up here, Dominic.
Well, you look at the first quarter compared to the second quarter, Barangay Ginebra definitely got a little bit more momentum in the second quarter, but it was just so efficient for the Alaska Aces all throughout, and that's why they ended up with a 12-point lead, 62-50.
You know, in 25 years, I still don't know what to do with my hands when you're in this position. So just roll the tape, because I have no idea what to do with my hands in this position. We're going to take a look at the play-off picture first, because earlier tonight we had BMEG winning in double overtime. We're still live. Keep that in mind here tonight on Solar TV, but we're coming a little late because of the double overtime.
Well, congratulations again to BMEG with that great game. But here in our second game, best of 3 again for the Barangay Ginebra Kings and the Alaska Aces. When you look at that, and then on Sunday, it's actually going to be 1-8 versus 2-7. So the top 2 teams will want to finish it off already because they have a twice to beat advantage. So let's see what will happen there.
The first half was loaded with a lot of precious, delicious moments, and you like the way Alaska played. You had mentioned in the first half that you liked the efficiency that was displayed by Alaska.
Well, when you talk about efficiency, then everything becomes easy as well. And that's why the Alaska Aces came to a 17-point lead. And you had Cyrus Baguio scoring 10 points in that first quarter. You had Sam Eman playing so well. He had 4 points in the quarter. On the other hand, in the second quarter, you could see also the Barangay Ginebra Kings, when they moved the ball well, that's the time they scored. But the defense also of the Alaska Aces is what showed. We will show those statistics later on pertaining to the defense of the Aces.
And the second quarter, Kablai contributed, Borboran contributed. It's like a 10-man rotation that's working efficiently well for Alaska, but not without a chase by Ginebra in that first half.
And you like that if you're the Alaska Aces because you're able to rest your first group. But the question is, here in the second half, in the third quarter, what's going to happen? Let's look at the statistics first of the first and the second quarter. You look at the field goal percentage of the Alaska Aces. They shot the lights out, 54%. Barangay Ginebra actually did pretty well with 44%. And they both teams moved the ball very well and did not turn the ball over. And that's why we showed those 2 highlights by Sam Eman, those blocks. Look at the blocks there, 4-1 for the Alaska Aces. And that's why we were talking about the Alaska Aces actually being the number 2 defensive team here in the league. Number 1 is actually Barangay Ginebra, but with how efficient Alaska has been moving the ball and the 10-man rotation, they have a 12-point lead.
Yes, indeed. And as we begin the second half of play, challenge for Ginebra is not allow Alaska to pull away too much. On the other hand, again, the rule when you play Ginebra, don't let them get started.
And that's why you like, or I'd like to go back to what Coach Tim Cohn said at the beginning of the game. You have to stay calm because there will be a storm when you're playing against Ginebra.
There will be moments when they will make that charge. Mamaril together with Kagiwa, Miller, Tubit, Wilson now in the box outside to the thriller. Kick out Kagiwa. Now they're passing it. They're passing it. That shot did not work, but they're now passing it a little more generously.
Well, there are 2 ways to beat the zone defense. It's either you move the ball really well or you penetrate the gaps. They tried penetrating the gaps, but what happened is Sam Eman, Joe Devance, and Sonny Thoss is what came to them. So now they're trying to move the ball, trying to get open shots. We saw that in the second quarter with Mike Cortez hitting back-to-back trays.
Some decision-making on the part. Oh, that's going to be 5 fouls. And the decision is going to be faster.
Second
straight foul.
And that hurts for Sam Eman because it's Willie Wilson who's getting that offensive rebound. A guy who's easily 6 inches shorter than him.
And Tim Cohn surveys his bench. Goes to De La Cruz, and most likely Thoss will slide into the center position. That's too early an adjustment. But already the lead has been trimmed down to 11. Here comes De La Cruz.